Good afternoon, welcome back to the action from the Ultimate Pool Grand Slam. This is a match between Craig Waddingham and Jordan Shepard. Probably two of the most natural players in the game today. Jordan Shepard wins the lag and gets frame number one underway. And this should be a crackerjack of a game. Jordan Shepard's been on a rich vein of form in this last season. He's won the opening event, of course a new professional for 2022. He joins us by invitation. Of course, he's played in a number of the Ultimate Pool events already. The Champions League, with the Pairs Cup with Craig Lakin, but the Pro event over Christmas beat Tom Cousins in the final 7-4, 7-4. And already a very good opportunity in this first frame. The perfect start for Jordan Shepard. A break and clearance. Left with a simple 8-ball. As I say, absolute bags of natural talent on show here.
Frame. Craig Waddingham to break. Trailing 1 frame to 0.
So Craig Waddingham breaking off in frame number 2. He makes a ball and see, doesn't have an opener on yellows. Would love to have gone yellows here because the reds are a problem. These two reds on the left hand side tied up next to the 8-ball, whereas all the yellows went, but of course didn't have an opener. He's got a couple of balls that he can use to break out these two reds. Probably going to be the one. It's going to be the next shot, so he's left a nice angle on this red to bottom right corner. It's a fairly natural shot. He'll probably just play it with a touch of right hand side just to help the ball go cushion first and nudge that. He's got one of them out. It's a semi-success, but the other ball's still tied up. And now has the problem that doesn't really have too much in the way of balls around it to actually be able to break that out. now. Hasn't really got any angle and chasing a finish. Just a little. Yeah, not what he had planned. Puts his hand up to Jordan Shepard to apologise, but somewhat effective. Still has a very tough shot, but he'll be happy to have any kind of shot. Just fancy him to get this one. This is tough. And he does. Another fairly fortunate kiss into the red. And he can grip into this to leave himself a shot on the 8 ball to the middle. And that's a really nice clearance. Had to ride his luck a little bit in the middle stages, but very nice. Good clearance from Craig Waddingham. Craig Waddingham, of course, also brand new to the ultimate pool professional scene. He's newly promoted. He was ranked as #1 on the Challengers series for last year, which is quite incredible considering he only played 4 events. He had 2 wins and 2 semi-finals. Played in the pairs with Arf and Dad. Didn't have any success. Other than that, to his credit, apart from tour wins, he was obviously runner-up in the 2013 World Championship, losing in a hill game to Tom Cousins. But a player who certainly doesn't lack in style and confidence. As mentioned at the top of the show, just so much natural talent. It makes the game look really simple. A little shake of the head because he hasn't finished quite how he wanted to. In the last frame, just couldn't quite get his position right. That was a good shot. He's recovered it now. This game, of course, a race to 8. So the players route through to this point. Craig Waddingham had a bye in the first round. Then he beat Declan Brennan in the winners round 1. Winners qualification, he beat Christophe Lambert. And then beat Shane Thompson this morning, 7 frames to 3. In fact, I'm going to guess that was a typo. It was probably 8 frames to 3. And he now takes the lead against Jordan Shepard. And you've got to say, he looks pretty good. In fact, he looks very good. I said from the outset when somebody asked me who I fancied to win, I picked him as my winner from round 1. He's just looked very impressive. Jordan Shepard conversely beat Josh Kane in the first round. He then lost to Carl Morris in a very edgy game. In the winners round 1. He then went into the losers section. He beat Luke Gilbert in a Hill game, 6-5. Then he beat Arf and Dad, played really well in that game. Played very well against Greg Batten. And then that was losers qualification. In the last 16, yesterday evening, beat Aaron Davis 8 frames to 6. So that's how they've progressed through to this point. Craig Waddingham breaks dry. I think probably yellows. I guess you could make a case for either, because both ball sets have a ball that's tied up. That little cluster around the 8 ball causing problems for both ball set, but yeah, maybe actually possible. Maybe possibly easier to break out the red that's below the 8 ball than it is to try and break out the yellows. So electing to go for reds, and I think straight away he's going to be looking to play that cannon. I think in the ideal world he'd be looking to cannon directly into the 8 ball, kind of half ball into the 8 ball. And it would have broken everything out, but just didn't quite get hold of it as he would have liked. So he's going to have to give it another nudge. I think he can play this one up the cushion, and then, oh no, he never gave that a chance. He's missed that by about 4 or 5 inches. I was going to say play that one, and then the one to left centre, leave an angle on the one to middle to give the, and come down and play full ball into the 8 would have knocked that red out and left the other red to the left hand side, but not to be. He didn't pot that ball, so brings Craig Waddingham back to the table. Of course, this is a race to 8, but only a 45-minute clock, so these players are both very quick players. I don't expect the clock to have much influence in this game, especially with the players playing on a 30-second clock. Race to 8. Pretty sure we're going to see a result one way or another. So the yellow next to the 8 ball passes into the bottom right pocket. So this should be fairly plain sailing from here. Just looking to drop this in and kill the cue ball, play the one at the top of the table, and then the yellow to the middle pocket next. In fact, he could play that now and then take the one up the rail, but he is going to take the one at the top first and come back, play the one to middle. I think he's just overcooked that slightly. A little bit more angle than he would have liked, but he's straight down on the shot, so he can obviously hold. Yeah, a little bit of check side as well, just to open the angle slightly. 3 frames to 1. Now a 2-frame lead in favour of Craig Waddingham. And the Welshman quickly needs to re-establish himself in this game. It's going to be his break in the next frame, frame number 5. So now yellows look to be the ball. So again, the problem ball is the yellow just to the right of this pack, and he's looking to attack that immediately. And again, he's just missed the contact point that he wanted. He was looking for a full ball contact on the second red down to nudge the yellow across. He would have been guaranteed to be on the yellow that's second up from the table, but didn't contact it properly, and he's not got that yellow out that he wanted to. And now again, little bit of a problem, because that yellow doesn't go to either bottom corner pocket, so he needs to disturb it yet again. He definitely doesn't have the angle to play that now. So again, going to have to reroute. Needs to leave this yellow at the bottom of the table so he can develop the other one. Yeah, I don't think he can get through that gap. Can't get through to the potting angle, so a little tapping frustration on the table. It was always going to be tough when he missed his mark to develop that ball. And now another really good opportunity for Craig Waddingham. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see the scoreline be at 4-1 very shortly. Not a problem on the table. Got another touch there. Another hand up to Jordan. That's another one that could have gone wrong. And my goodness me. I don't think this goes either. I think he needs to turn it over. He's going to cue down on this ball. Yeah. He's definitely riding his luck. But why not? Everything's going his way. It's 4-1 up. It's going to be... He's breaking the next frame. So, Craig Waddingham to break off in frame 6, and Jordan Shepard already needs Craig to make a mistake or two, which he hasn't looked like doing so far. And another good layout. Come through the pack there. I'm not sure exactly that's what he had planned, but that was a cue ball in a pretty decent place now. It's not exactly a simple finish. Still has to navigate this table and has to find a way to get across to this ball on the right hand side. So a little nudge on the yellow in the middle of the table, and all these things at the moment will frustrate Jordan because Craig left himself a great angle to nudge that ball out, and he still landed on this one down the rail. It wasn't exactly what he played. And yet again, he's run out of position, but he's got yet another get out of jail. So he's hit that one too hard, and this wasn't the plan. He wanted to finish straight and then play the one in the middle of the table after this one, but he can kill the cue ball and go to the top of the table. So, as I say, it will frustrate Jordan because all of these shots where Craig keeps landing out of position, it's just not costing him. He's still got a B shot that he can use. And this now at 5-1. What? Wow, I am shocked. I am very, very shocked. I can only put that down to a lack of focus, a lack of concentration. That was about as simple as it gets. And that's given Jordan Shepard a lifeline. It's a clever shot. With those shots, you have to be careful not to leave yourself further to the right and give him an option to play it. from the cushion. So he's given it a bit of a lash, and now a very good chance. And this game, well, the fat lady had all but sung. We were ready to mark the score up and make it 5-1, but this game has a very, very different complexion at 4-2. Scores from the other games: currently Jimmy Croxton 4-3 against Dylan Leary. Sean Chipperfield has won the first 2 frames against Sean Story. We've already crowned our champion in the Challengers event. That was Jez Graham, the West Countryman, taking the trophy at £8,000. And probably, well, almost certainly his biggest payday and his biggest title, just at the age of 40 years old. And it just shows you you're never too old to play this game, never too old to perform. So Jordan Shepard doesn't look the gift horse in the mouth. Takes that frame, that gift from Craig Waddingham. Now 4 frames to 2. He has the break in the next. So this could quickly become a very close game, and it looked like it was all one-way traffic. Huge difference between 5-1 and 4-2. In a race to 8, those are the things that can swing the momentum. Jordan Shepard with his cue, made by Trevor White. It's been modified by John Paris. Needs to find a ball here. He needed to reinforce that last frame, that mistake from Craig. He would have desperately wanted to make a ball. Those mistakes, you just want to punish your opponent by 2 frames instead of 1. But when you go dry with this kind of leave, it just totally lets your opponent off the hook. So frustrating. And Craig just doesn't have any issues in this clearance. Everything there. He's got the ball, the red through the gap, and then the one to top corner. Really is a dot-to-dot finish. The 8 ball just maybe hampering his path back out. So he may just have to reroute. He would have looked to come off the cushion and just come down the table to centre table, but I think he's probably going to have to keep the cue ball high. Yeah, he did. Another little flick on the 8 ball, but it's landed him in decent position. Two of the most delightful players to watch. When they get into their rhythm, they're fast, attacking. Close to 7 frames already completed, and just 24 minutes have passed off the clock That's a lovely shot, but not dissimilar to the one he's already missed. So that will be in his mind. The difference here is he can really punch this because he's going to screw the ball back off the bottom cushion and back out. And that does make those pots infinitely easier when you can let your cue arm go. Eight Ball wiped his feet on the way in, but was never in danger of not finding gravity. 5 frames to 2. Jordan will be so frustrated with that dry break. Would have just seen that as a great chance to pull back within 1 frame. So annoying when you just draw that mistake from your opponent, but then can't take advantage. And Craig with a bit back between his teeth. 5 frames to 2 with the break in the next. Jordan now relying again on Craig to make a mistake or go dry, in off, anything. He needs mistakes. Just not getting them. And yet again, I mean, look at this. Look at these yellows.
Yellow balls in play.
The 8 Ball's even got the perfect ball to be able to land on it. He just landed with the wrong angle on that last yellow, so it meant he's had to punch across the table. So it's left this a tiny bit trickier, but again, hard to see him not clearing from here. Wow, again, another unforced error. Really, that ball went Jordan probably purposefully leaving an edge of this ball for Craig to go at because he wants him to move it. Craig not taking the bait. So looking to play, that's possibly very unfortunate. He was looking to play a loss of turn shot, very clever little shot which he saw immediately, and the full ball snooker. But, the red went down and just nudged the yellow to one side, but I think Craig may be able to see an edge, but not the potting angle. He's had to come up from behind, and now, well, I mean, this really should have been framed to Craig Waddingham. So it's another one that just lets Shepard back in the door. You can see him shaking his head in the background. He'll be annoyed. Yeah, no, that was a great opportunity right from the break. Just that one positional error which led to him having to punch the cue ball across and made that ball at the top of the table a little bit more awkward. It made it missable, whereas it really shouldn't have been. This is another one. He's left too much angle. So having to run into the 8-ball, not a problem, but it just adds that little degree that something could go wrong. Whereas if he finished dead straight on the red, then he could have just dropped it in and the 8-ball was there at his mercy. As soon as you have to cannon a ball, things can go wrong, but that was simple enough. Just pushed it towards the pocket and snaffled up another chance that should have been a Craig Waddingham frame. Another unforced error. And if Jordan can somehow manufacture a win from this game, Craig will look back at it and see those couple of mistakes that he's made. Referee Scott Price racking the balls for frame number 9, and Jordan giving up on the cut break and going back to the front ball break. But oh no, made a couple of balls, made 2 reds. And as has been said already a couple of times on this table, the front ball break probably more effective than the cut break on this table. He's got an opener on reds. He's got a couple of options. He's going to take the one to middle. He's going to try and land in the gap. Beautifully done. Played at a lovely pace. So now he needs to think. I think it's going to be bottom left and then play the ball just the right of the white line to middle and play the one to top right to come across. And near impossible to commentate on someone like Jordan Shepard because he just sees things. I'm surprised he didn't go for the gap and try and play this ball to the middle pocket, but he saw it differently. Had the angle to come around, and now this is pretty perfect. Just stun across. And again, the perfect angle to top the cue ball off the side rail. Missed that yellow that's on the rail there. Purposefully left this slightly wider angle. Look at that. A little bit of side on the cue ball. Sends it down table. What a delightful finish. Ooh. Shares a smile with Craig Waddingham as he just used the whole of the pocket there and immediately turned around to look at Craig. He did one of those yesterday in the deciding frame in his quarter-final game. Sorry, in his last 16 game. So close to losing that cue ball into the pocket, but as it is, it's probably equally as bad because he's had a dry break, and I think these yellows look pretty good. The question would be whether the yellow passes down the left-hand side rail past the 8-ball, and I'm guessing the answer is no, because that's made his decision to go reds. I think if that yellow passed the 8-ball, he would have taken yellows because they're a pretty good pattern, but reds also, yeah, they were kind of dot-to-dot finish too. So again, just the wrong angle on this shot. I think it would have just liked to have been a little lower. So he's going to play this off the cushion with check side. So again, he's going to have to take the one to the top right now. Stun across for the one. A little bit straighter than he'd like. A bit more angle and he could just punch this out. So the question will be, does it pass to bottom right? If it does, he's just a simple little screw back and play that to bottom right. But if it doesn't, he's going to have to try and punch it out. Clearly doesn't. Well, if this red passes the 8-ball, I've got to question why he wouldn't have gone for yellows in the first place, because it did. Because that yellow, as I say, you make an argument for either ball set here. They were both wide open. 5 frames apiece. No hand up in apology, just gentlemanly conduct really. Didn't do too much wrong there, just maybe wasn't quite going with his A plan, so just puts his hand up to recognise that with Craig. But 5 frames each, and now back on the break. Jordan Shepard breaking in frame number 11. This is anybody's game. Scott Price residing over the game. Racks the balls, places the cue ball, and it's Jordan Shepard to break. He will be very annoyed. He just didn't catch those well at all. Cue ball straight into the pocket. So, as any good professional player would, and as they would coach you to do, look after your bad ball right from the start. And the bad ball there was the 8-ball, which was tied up, so Craig dealing with it immediately. And sometimes you compromise on your position to make sure that you get your ball out. So just a slightly trickier shot. And now in perfect shape. That was a very nice shot. Controlled it really well. He's just got a lovely angle now to stun up onto the red on the side cushion to leave the yellow. And does the yellow on the bulk line pass between the two reds top right? If it does, this is very simple. If it doesn't, he probably just needs to stun across to the other side of the table to play it into top left. He's looking now. Well, he obviously thinks it does. It's a bonus. Makes the finish even simpler. I think it's tight. Yeah, it clearly goes. So Craig Waddingham now taking advantage of that mistake from Jordan Shepard, and a mistake it was. In off from the break. Jordan did seem to just get down and hit them really quickly. He's a fast player anyway, but maybe didn't give that break the respect that it needed at that important time. Just got down and seemed to hit it quickly. And he's paid the penalty of losing the frame. And now it's Craig's turn. He now needs a big break. Finds a ball. And has been the case with so many frames in this match so far. The table very, very open. We're seeing so few clusters. And that will annoy Jordan because he would have just hoped for something. Hoped that Craig has to do some work just to make the job a little tougher. All he can hope for now is just a mistake in open play. So that in off from the break actually costing Jordan Shepard 2 frames. Craig Waddingham's broken cleared the next. And now Craig Waddingham on the hill and Jordan Shepard with all the work to do. Needs the remaining 3 frames. For him though, he will have the break in 2 of those 3 frames, so he just has to do his job, and that starts with winning this frame. He's gone back to the cut break, and he really didn't hit that well either. Dumped the cue ball into the corner pocket. Didn't seem to time that well. And you fear for him, you think that that may be the final part that he plays in this competition. difficult to see how Craig can make a mistake from here. I guess Jordan's only saviour could possibly be the ball on the right hand side, but will that ball come to his rescue? Still got to do a bit of work with the cue ball here. Still got to do a little bit of work with the cue ball. That's a nice shot. So, one big shot for the match. Yeah. Flicks a knuckle again. But Craig Waddingham knows that he is through. He's through to the semi-final. A tap on the knee from Jordan Shepard. Not too much he could have done there, to be honest. He didn't do a lot wrong in that match. You have to feel for him. He's really not done a lot wrong. A couple of dry breaks. Maybe his break just not quite working for him. But a fist pump from Craig Waddingham. You can see what it means to him. He's absolutely thrilled, and so he should be. Craig Waddingham progresses through to the semi-final of the Grand Slam. We will see him in the semi-final later today.